Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today, we're diving into Lesson 2 of our English learning course. In this lesson, we will practice pronunciation, read a story, learn about superlatives, expand our vocabulary, and work with compound words. So, get ready to improve your English in a fun and effective way. Let's get started. Let's start with pronunciation. Listen carefully and repeat after me. Pronunciation chich. Sh. Sen. Sound ke. Chalk, bench, cheat, pinch, perch, chow, chunk, chore. Sound sh. Shade, clash, shark, gosh, shelf, leash, shook, mash, shorts, shove. Sound sing. Stem, beast, stew, breast, stir, cost, stone, feast, starch, stool, mist, stitch, stash, stunt, paste. Now let's read the story. Meet Jerome. Listen carefully and try to follow along. Stephen, who had only his shirt and shorts on, was standing on his head in the middle of his bedroom. His eyes were closed and his face had a very peaceful look. "That's a great stunt," said his friend Jerome as he walked into the room. "Where did you learn that?" "It's not a stunt," answered Stephen calmly as he lowered himself to the floor. "This is yoga." By now, Jerome was perched on a stool in the kitchen. He was feasting on some beef stew that Stephen had made for dinner. "When did you start doing yoga?" shouted Jerome. "Last Tuesday," answered Stephen. "I went down to the YMCA to sign up for an exercise class, and I wandered into the yoga class by mistake." Jerome was confused. "What's the difference between yoga class and exercise class?" he shouted. "If you ask me, it just looks like yoga means you do stranger exercises." "I guess it does look pretty strange," said Stephen. "I'm not sure what the difference is. I missed the talk at the beginning of class. Since it only costs $30 for 10 lessons, I decided to give it a try." Jerome shook his head slowly. "What's the matter?" asked Stephen as he entered the kitchen. "You probably think I'm crazy for doing this, don't you?" Jerome was Stephen's best friend, and he cared very much what Jerome thought about what he did. "No, I don't think you're crazy," said Jerome. "I just think this is the worst stew I've ever had in my life. It tastes like paste. As long as you're making all these great changes, why don't you learn how to cook?" "Very funny," said Stephen. "Come on, just give me a few minutes to get dressed and I'll treat you to a steak dinner." Stephen really couldn't afford to go around buying steak dinners. But he was so glad that Jerome hadn't laughed at him for taking the yoga class, that he decided to splurge. "Now let's test your understanding with some questions. What is the name of Stephen's best friend?" "His name is Jerome." "What class is Stephen taking at the YMCA?" "He is taking a yoga class." "How did Stephen happen to take this class?" "He accidentally walked into the yoga class." "What does Jerome think about yoga?" "He thinks it looks like strange exercises." "Why does Stephen want to treat Jerome to dinner?" "He's happy Jerome didn't laugh at him." "What clues suggest Jerome has visited before?" "He's comfortable in the kitchen and eating Stephen's food." Now, let's learn how to form superlative adjectives with est. Superlatives with est. Rule 1. If the word ends in E, just add saint. Examples: fine, finest, late, latest, rude, rudest, nice, nicest, ripe, ripest, sore, sorest. Rule 2. If the word is short and follows a CVC pattern, double the last letter. Examples: big, biggest, sad, saddest, hot, hottest, dim, dimmest, mad, maddest, thin, thinnest. Rule 3. If the word ends in I, change the Y to I. Examples: happy, happiest, proud, proudest, cheap, cheapest, great, greatest, mean, meanest, high, highest. Exercises: sad, saddest, big, biggest, thin, thinnest, dim, dimmest.